Angela Martinez had perfect vision when she enlisted 20 years ago, but something happened during a classified mission that changed her forever. Now she wore sunglasses constantly, claiming light sensitivity, but the truth was that her eyes had been altered by an experimental procedure that allowed her to see things no human should be able to see. And what she saw every day was terrifying. Which city in the world are you watching this video from today? Please subscribe and support us for more stories. Colonel Angela Martinez was known throughout Fort Carson as the officer who never removed her sunglasses. In 20 years of military service, no one had ever seen her eyes, not during indoor meetings, not during formal ceremonies, not even during medical examinations where she somehow convinced doctors that removing her glasses would cause severe pain and potential injury. Her sunglasses had become as much a part of her identity as her uniform. Angela's colleagues had long since stopped questioning her constant use of sunglasses, assuming it was either a medical condition or simply an eccentric personal preference that she had maintained for so long it had become accepted military protocol. Some joked that she probably slept in them, and those jokes weren't far from the truth. Angela never removed her sunglasses when anyone might see her, and the few times she had been forced to take them off, she ensured she was completely alone. The official explanation for Angela's sunglasses was documented in her medical records as severe photophobia resulting from an injury sustained during a classified operation in Afghanistan. The condition supposedly made exposure to normal light levels extremely painful and potentially damaging to her vision. Military medical personnel accepted this explanation without question, especially since the details of the operation that caused her condition were classified above their clearance levels. What Angela's medical records didn't reveal was that her condition wasn't the result of an injury at all. It was the result of an experimental procedure that she had volunteered for during a classified research program designed to enhance soldier capabilities beyond normal human limits. The procedure had been successful in ways that exceeded the expectations of the researchers who developed it, but it had also created side effects that made Angela's continued service both essential and terrifying. Angela's transformation had begun 15 years into her military career when she was selected for participation in a program known only as Project Eagle Eye. The program was designed to develop enhanced visual capabilities for special operations personnel who needed to operate in environments where normal human vision was inadequate. The goal was to create soldiers who could see in complete darkness, detect camouflaged enemies, and spot threats at distances that would be impossible for unenhanced humans. The selection process for Project Eagle Eye was extremely rigorous and limited to soldiers with exceptional records and specific psychological profiles. Candidates had to demonstrate not only superior military performance, but also the mental stability necessary to handle capabilities that would fundamentally change their relationship with the world around them. Angela was chosen because of her exemplary record as an intelligence officer and her demonstrated ability to handle classified information responsibly. The procedure that Angela underwent was classified at the highest levels and involved techniques that pushed the boundaries of what was considered ethical human experimentation. The operation required removing her natural eyes and replacing them with bioengineered organs that incorporated advanced technology with living tissue. The process took 6 months and required Angela to remain in a classified medical facility where her recovery could be monitored by researchers who understood the experimental nature of her condition. The enhanced eyes that Angela received provided capabilities that went far beyond normal human vision. She could see across a much wider spectrum of light, including infrared and ultraviolet wavelengths that allowed her to detect heat signatures, see through certain materials, and identify threats that would be completely invisible to unenhanced humans. Her distance vision was enhanced to the point where she could read text from miles away, and her night vision was so sensitive that she could operate in complete darkness as if it were broad daylight. But the most disturbing aspect of Angela's enhanced vision was her ability to see things that existed outside normal human perception. The bioengineered eyes didn't just enhance her ability to see physical objects. They allowed her to perceive energy patterns, electromagnetic fields, and other phenomena that normal humans couldn't detect. This meant that Angela was constantly aware of things that others couldn't see, things that often shouldn't be seen. Angela's enhanced vision revealed a world that was far more complex and frightening than normal humans realized. She could see the electronic surveillance systems that monitored every aspect of modern life, the hidden weapons and security devices that were concealed throughout military installations, and the energy signatures of people that revealed their emotional states, health conditions, and sometimes their intentions. The constant awareness of these hidden realities was psychologically overwhelming and required enormous mental discipline to manage. The sunglasses that Angela wore served multiple purposes beyond hiding the appearance of her enhanced eyes. They contained filters that reduced the overwhelming amount of visual information she received and allowed her to function in normal social situations without being completely distracted by everything she could see. The glasses also contained technology that could record and analyze what she observed, creating a permanent record of intelligence that could be used for military purposes. Angela's role after receiving her enhanced vision was as a covert intelligence asset who could gather information that would be impossible for normal humans to obtain. Her assignments took her to various military installations and civilian locations where she could observe activities, identify threats, and collect intelligence without anyone realizing the extent of her capabilities. Her sunglasses made her appear normal while hiding abilities that gave her access to classified information simply by looking around. The psychological impact of Angela's enhanced vision was severe and ongoing. She was constantly bombarded with visual information that normal humans couldn't process, and she had to learn to filter out irrelevant details while focusing on information that was important for her mission. The mental effort required to manage her enhanced perception was exhausting and created stress that affected every aspect of her life. More disturbing was Angela's ability to see things that she wished she couldn't. Her enhanced vision revealed the hidden aspects of people's lives, the deception and corruption that existed within military and civilian institutions, and the surveillance and control systems that monitored every aspect of society. The knowledge that came with her enhanced vision was often more burdensome than beneficial, and she frequently wished she could return to the limited perception of normal human vision. Angela's enhanced eyes also allowed her to see phenomena that defied normal understanding. She could perceive energy patterns that seemed to indicate the presence of things that shouldn't exist, electromagnetic anomalies that suggested hidden technology, and visual disturbances that couldn't be explained by known science. These observations were reported to researchers who were interested in understanding the full extent of what enhanced vision could detect, but the explanations for what Angela saw were often classified above her clearance level. The most frightening aspect of Angela's enhanced vision was her ability to see what appeared to be surveillance systems that weren't part of any known technology. She could detect devices that monitored human activities with capabilities that exceeded anything in the public domain, suggesting the existence of surveillance programs or technologies that operated beyond the oversight of normal military and intelligence agencies. The implications of what she could see were so disturbing that she was ordered to report her observations only to specific individuals with appropriate clearances. Angela's effectiveness as an intelligence asset was extraordinary, but the psychological cost of her enhanced capabilities was becoming increasingly apparent to the researchers who monitored her condition. She showed signs of stress, paranoia, and social isolation that were directly related to her ability to see things that others couldn't. The constant awareness of hidden realities was affecting her mental health and her ability to maintain normal relationships with colleagues and friends. The medical monitoring that Angela underwent revealed that her enhanced vision was continuing to develop in ways that hadn't been anticipated by the researchers who designed the procedure. Her capabilities were expanding beyond the original parameters of the experiment, and she was beginning to see things that the technology wasn't designed to detect. The evolution of her abilities suggested that the bioengineered eyes were adapting and growing in ways that could potentially become uncontrollable. Angela's reports about what she could see became increasingly disturbing to military officials who received her intelligence. She described surveillance systems that seemed to operate independently of human control, energy patterns that suggested the presence of non-human intelligence, and technological activities that couldn't be explained by known capabilities. Her observations were so far beyond normal experience that some officials questioned whether her enhanced vision was providing accurate information or whether the procedure had created hallucinations or delusions. The crisis that brought Angela's condition to wider attention occurred during a routine security inspection at a classified military facility. Angela's enhanced vision detected what appeared to be an unauthorized surveillance system that was monitoring the activities of personnel within the facility. Her report triggered a comprehensive security investigation that initially found no evidence of the surveillance system she described. However, further investigation using specialized equipment eventually confirmed the existence of monitoring devices that were so advanced they had been undetectable to normal security procedures. The discovery that Angela's enhanced vision could detect threats that conventional security measures couldn't identify made her an invaluable asset, but it also raised questions about the extent of surveillance that might exist in other locations. The investigation that followed Angela's discovery revealed a pattern of unauthorized surveillance activities that extended far beyond the single facility where she had made her initial observation. Her enhanced vision was used to conduct security sweeps at multiple military installations, revealing hidden monitoring systems that appeared to be part of a coordinated intelligence-gathering operation that wasn't connected to any known military or government agency. Angela's role in exposing unauthorized surveillance made her a target for organizations that had been conducting hidden monitoring activities. She began receiving threats and experiencing surveillance of her own activities that suggested hostile intelligence services or criminal organizations were attempting to neutralize her capabilities. The protection measures that were implemented for Angela's security required her to live under constant guard and limited her ability to operate in normal military environments. The stress of living under threat, while managing the psychological impact of her enhanced vision, began to affect Angela's mental stability in ways that concerned military medical personnel. She reported seeing surveillance activities that became increasingly paranoid and detailed, suggesting that her enhanced capabilities might be developing beyond the point where they could be controlled or managed effectively. The decision to remove Angela from active intelligence operations was made when her reports began to include observations that couldn't be verified through any conventional means. Military officials became concerned that her enhanced vision was either malfunctioning or providing information that was too sensitive for normal intelligence channels. Angela was reassigned to administrative duties where her capabilities could be monitored while limiting her exposure to classified activities. Angela's reassignment to administrative work was psychologically devastating because it removed the sense of purpose that had helped her cope with the burden of her enhanced vision. Without meaningful intelligence work, she was left to deal with the constant stream of visual information without any way to use it productively. The isolation and frustration of her situation led to depression and anxiety that required ongoing medical treatment. The research program that had created Angela's enhanced vision was quietly discontinued after officials concluded that the psychological costs of the procedure outweighed its intelligence benefits. The technology was classified and sealed to prevent its use in future experiments, and the few subjects who had undergone the procedure were retired from active service and provided with ongoing medical support. Angela's continued service in administrative roles was marked by periods of stability, interrupted by crises related to her enhanced vision, and the psychological stress of living with capabilities that isolated her from normal human experience. She required ongoing therapy to manage the paranoia and depression that resulted from her ability to see hidden realities that others couldn't perceive. The medical support that Angela received included experimental treatments designed to reduce the overwhelming nature of her enhanced vision without eliminating capabilities that might still be useful for intelligence purposes. The treatments had limited success and often created side effects that were as problematic as the original condition they were meant to address. Angela's story became a case study in the ethics of human enhancement and the psychological consequences of procedures that fundamentally alter human capabilities. Her experience demonstrated that technological enhancements could create problems that were more significant than the benefits they provided, and that the psychological adaptation required for enhanced capabilities might exceed human capacity. The sunglasses that Angela continued to wear served as a constant reminder of the price she had paid for abilities that had ultimately isolated her from normal human experience. Behind the dark lenses were eyes that could see too much, revealing a world that was more complex and frightening than most people could imagine. Her enhanced vision had made her an invaluable intelligence asset, but it had also cost her the ability to experience the world in the same way as other humans. The classification of Angela's case meant that her story would never be publicly acknowledged, and the lessons learned from her experience would remain hidden within military research programs. Her sacrifice had contributed to understanding the limits of human enhancement and the importance of considering psychological factors in experimental procedures, but that knowledge would benefit only future researchers who had appropriate clearances. Angela Martinez continued to serve in limited capacities, wearing her sunglasses and managing the burden of vision that revealed more than she wanted to see. Her story illustrated the complexity of human enhancement and the reality that some improvements come with costs that aren't apparent until after they become irreversible. Behind her sunglasses were eyes that had seen too much, and the darkness of the lenses was a small protection against a world that was far more complex and frightening than normal humans realized. Some enhancements are improvements, and some are curses disguised as benefits. Angela learned that the ability to see more clearly doesn't always make the world a better place, and that sometimes the most merciful thing about normal human vision is its limitations. Her sunglasses protected not just her enhanced eyes, but also her sanity, providing a barrier against a reality that was too complex and disturbing for human minds to process without assistance. The darkness behind her sunglasses was more than just protection from light. It was protection from truth that was too terrible to see clearly.